During the 15th, 16th, and 17th century, we saw numerous European monarchs like Spain, Portugal, England, and France sponsoring men and women who conducted scientific research with the hope that new technology might give their country a competitive edge in world markets. And this led to all sorts of scientific developments. One of the key debates was the nature of the universe. Copernicus was a Polish scientist. He abandoned the geocentric theory of Ptolemy to prove that the sun was actually the center of the solar system, not the earth. And he called this the heliocentric theory. The Italian scientist Galileo used a telescope to confirm the discoveries of Copernicus and to study planetary motion and gravity. Galileo, as a result of his studies, was taken to court by the Roman Catholic Church and required to publicly recant his theories, and then they kind of locked him away in an attic for the rest of his life. It's actually a very sad story. A German scientist named Johann Kepler discovered the elliptical pattern of planetary motion. And then you have Isaac Newton. He established the basic principles of motion and described the forces of gravity. New knowledge was also obtained concerning the human body. You have Vesalius of Belgium studying human anatomy. And then the Englishman John Harvey actually mapped out and explained the circulatory system and how our heart pumps blood throughout our body. The scientific revolution supported additional research and a standardized approach. They said if you're going to say that something should be applied to everybody as a law of nature, then it needs to be able to be replicated. People need to be able to do it for their own. It can't just be you. René Descartes encouraged the educated to develop a skeptical approach to learning. Francis Bacon advocated empirical research based on observations and carefully obtained data. Western science took on a nature distinct from scientific thought in East Asia. In contrast to scientific thought, or to Chinese scientific thought, which generally dealt with specific facts that were practical in nature, Western scientific thought formulated general laws of nature that had roots in Islamic and Greek philosophy. An example of this would be like the law of gravity. Also characteristic of Western scientific thought were principles that could be utilized for the improvement of humankind. The scientific revolution's long-term effects on Western society was to reduce people's faith in divine explanations and life mysteries. But Westerners began to look to and depend more on science for answers to society's challenges, and that tendency led to the Industrial Revolution.